thank y'all all for coming out this morning on this bad hair day, but that's okay. It's a great temperature, and so we are so happy. Maybe the moisture will make it a little easier to go down the slide this morning. We'll see about that, right, Gumbo? Got a wet gator next to me. Well, it is so wonderful to see all of you here. Of course, working at KPLC, we've seen the initial stage of the original Millennium Park and how wonderful it was to have thousands of volunteers come out and build something for the community, something that was more than a park. It was really a commitment for families in the lake area. And to see the devastating news when it burned down was something that really cut us all deeply. And the question of where do we go from here, and can we have a response to rebuild it bigger and better and have the commitment from the community to do it again? And boy, did that happen. So if you're excited to see everything today, let's show our support and appreciation for everyone involved. You know, personally to me, not just seeing it on the news and seeing what we needed to do to rebuild the community, but making the decision to say, Lake Charles is where I want to see a family. Lake Charles is where I want to put down roots, and to have something like this that's part of the lakefront development, part of the heart of Lake Charles, and part of the heart of the community is so great to see come together. Of course, this is something that is near and dear to Lake Charles Mayor Randy Roach, who has, Lord knows, spent how many hours making this project come to fruition today. So please welcome him and show your support for his completion of this project.
Thank you, Brittany. I know it might be a bad hair day, but the sun always shines here in Southwest Louisiana, right? And here we are. What a great day and what a great opportunity for us to really celebrate what is so wonderful about the community of Southwest Louisiana. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, but I do want to recognize a few of our guests who are here. First of all, representing the Lake Charles City Council is Mr. John Ayub and Mark Eckerd. I think those are the only two that we have listed. Any others? Somebody's pointing. Hey, Stuart Weatherford's here. I knew Stuart would, but I knew he'd be here. Thanks for coming, Stuart. John Cardona, City Administrator. Elijah Guillory, Assistant Administrator. Representing the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury is Shannon Spell, the President of the Police Jury. Shannon, thank you for coming. And all the way from Lake Arthur, Louisiana, the City Councilman, Troy Trahan, who happens also to be the contractor on this particular project. But Troy, thank you for coming. Our Downtown Development Authority members, Mr. Charles Honore, Lori Marinovich is the Executive Director, and Gigi Kaufman is a former member of the Downtown Development Authority. They were, of course, involved in this process as well. You know, today we are hosting the grand reopening of a bigger and better Millennium Park. We told you when this park burned, we said, the day of the fire, we said we're going to build it back bigger and better. We're not going to dwell on what happened. What happened, happened. And what I'd like for our young guests here to realize and understand is that when bad things happen, you can make them good, okay? When bad things happen, you can make them good. And look right behind me, huh? Is that not good or what, right? And it's all for you. It's all for you. And what you see here is the completion of phases 1 and 2. And I want to thank the Lake Charles City Council because, you know, they had to step out on faith when we said we're going to build it bigger and better. And they had to step out and say, okay, we're going to commit a couple of $1 million in city money to make it bigger and better, okay? And they didn't know exactly how it was going to work. And they had to step out on faith, and because they believe in this community and understand what's important to you as families and residents here in our community and the community of Southwest Louisiana, they said, let's do it. And I want to thank them again, Mark, Stuart, and John, all of you guys. Rodney Montaguian, who's just showed up, thank you for coming, Rodney. I imagine LaBertha August will be coming here in a moment. I know Marshall Simeon couldn't be here because he had to go to Baton Rouge. Dana Jackson as well. But I think our City Council, really, let's give them a round of applause and appreciation for what they have allowed us to do. Now, again, kids, I want you to listen up just a second, because you know what? You see phases 1 and 2. Well, I'm going to ask our City Council for a phase 3, 4, and 5, okay? We got more to do. So there's room to grow outside, as you can see, and there's room to grow inside, too, a little bit. So we can add a couple things here. And we can make it a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit better, and do some other things here as well. In a moment, Kay Barnett, the chair of the Millennium Park Playground rebuild, which is kind of the centerpiece of our area here at the park, the playground, is going to talk to you a little bit about those who made this possible. Think about it, 5,000 volunteers. We had many corporate sponsors who came in and donated money to help us do this. We've had all kind of activity and organizations that were involved in phase one. I have to acknowledge again, thank you, Shannon, for being here, the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury, the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I know Shelley Johnson is here as well, Monty Hurley representing the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they came up and they said, you know, we recognize the importance of this, and they each committed $50,000 to help build that playground, and we appreciate that. And of course, we have representing our casino partners in this project. Each one came up and contributed $20,000 for a total of $80,000. And I know Kay's going to mention it as well, but I wanted to at least recognize how much we appreciate that initial seed money that helped get us started. When we completed this, we said that I told the volunteers that were involved, and I said, don't overlook, don't miss the miracle of what has happened. I call it a miracle, because it's the way in which a community comes together, and all comes together just kind of out of, we think out of nowhere, we think out of no design, no purpose, but yet there is something in the heart of man that makes him respond when there is a need. It makes him respond out of goodness and care and concern. It makes him respond and help good things happen, and that is what you see represented here. The goodness of this community, the care and the concern of this community, the commitment to this community to take care of families and to address those needs that need to be addressed.
Thank you, Mayor Roach. And you know, this is about all of you. This playground was designed by our community. We worked with a great company out of New York called Leathers and Associates. They helped us put all of our ideas together, but you all were the ones, especially our youth, who said, you know, we had this in the first one, but let's do this a little bit differently in this one, and let's make sure we can do some other things. We still were able to build in the history of Southwest Louisiana. And so I hope that all of y'all will be sure when you play in this playground that you look at the history wall and you play on the different components that build in the history of the area. And I just will say on behalf of the community, this was an incredible project, and I know I've seen people come up here and say, hey, I put that nail right there. So it has a lot of meaning to us. Thank you. We love you, and this will be here for us forever. Thank you.
As Kay mentioned, there are so many individuals, businesses, and groups that help make this all a reality. Of course, you mentioned Lake Charles City Council was integral in that, committing a big chunk of money. And to talk more about that and why they did it, we have Mark Eckert, the Lake Charles City Council president.
You know, the character of a community is really reflected in how they take care of their children and those that are hurting. And I think this speaks greatly about the character of our community. And this attracts people. People want to live in communities where they take care of their own, where they take care of the kids, where they take care of those that are hurting. And this is not the only example of this community taking care of everybody. When you look back after Hurricane Rita, this community came together and we rebuilt. Just last summer when the Wounded Warrior softball team was here, this whole community, this area came together to support them like never before. Any given weekend you can come up here and see how this community comes together to support those that are hurting. Last weekend it was raising money for lung cancer. Every weekend there's something where this community is just pouring out their love for those that need help. And I can't say enough about how thankful we are for you, that you care about those that, the children and those that are needing and those that are hurting. And that just speaks volumes of this community and the character of this community. And it's such a privilege to serve on, as my grandchildren say, at the Silly Council, to be part of this community. They kind of keep you in line when they tell you exactly what they think of it. But I just want to say thanks to you and to everybody for the outpouring of all your hard work, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. I won't mention any names of people who shed blood on this project, Mayor. But anyway, thanks again. It's a great testament to the character of this community. It actually, when people from the outside, when they come in, when they're talking about economic development, and they see projects like this and how it was built by the community, that just speaks volumes, and they realize, hey, this is where we want to come. This is the kind of community we want to be a part of. So again, thank you.
Before we cut the ribbon, we have one more city council member we'd like to hear from, Mr. John Ayu, who also has his little one excited about the day.
You know, Millennium Park is such a household name around our city. Just mentioning the names lights up the faces of our children. It certainly initiates the same excitement as mentioning something like we're going to McDonald's or going to a movie or going to see the mayor talk. I mean, that's what excitement is right there. Anytime a part of Lake Charles is developed or improved, I get excited. I lived here my entire life. I remember my mom taking me downtown to shop at Muller's and Sears and playing on the playgrounds in the middle of Ryan Street. Now as a father, I see Lake Charles in a very different light. Every park we build or improve, every pavilion that stages events, every new store or restaurant will ensure that my children will grow up and raise their children in our wonderful city, because we're developing Lake Charles into a beautiful city that no one will want to leave. Thanks for all your help, and thank you very much.
Go what?